Hello, this is Daryl Martin with ApexInvesting.com doing another trading webinar series on futures trading about be the sniper or be the target. It's your choice. Make it today. As with any financial presentation, we got to have a quick disclaimer up. And let's get on into the good stuff. So today I'm going to talk to you about a market review. I'm also going to talk to you about a new trading assistant table that one of our traders, Sasha, made for us. And I want to show you where to get that. So give me a second so I can pull up. Here we go. If you go to the apexinvesting.net/trading assist or trade assistant page, that'll load up. And down here in one thing is to make sure you know how to use the master template. Watch video 4. So there's a new video, has a PDF, has a cheat sheet. But we also have a new step here on how to add a cheat table. Okay? And you download this program down here called Stickies. And you'll install that. And then you download and save the table image right here. So you just click on it and right click, save. Need to upload a color one for you. And then I'll upload a new one that's a color. I don't know why that's gray. That's weird. And then you'll open the image up, you'll copy it, and you'll paste it into Stickies. And you'll right-click on the Stickies and pin it to the top. So let me show you a screenshot of where that's at once you install the program called Stickies. It's better than the Stick Notes for this specific use. And let me bring this over here. So right down here where your clock is, you click that little arrow and you'll see a little notepad once you install Stickies, okay? You double click on the little notepad and it'll open up a type of sticky note. So if I go over here and I double click on it, it'll open up a sticky note for me. And then what I can do is I can take the image and I can paste it inside the sticky note, and I can right click on it and say on top. And then let me shrink all this. Didn't mean to shrink that. Let's see here, 1 second. Open up ES. There we go. And I can put this sticky note right up here. And this gives me a cheat sheet, which is like what should basically be primarily on or off. Okay? And then, if there's ODD or DRD or an ETX, that's when I turn this one on right here. ODD or DRD. Elevators, once you've gone deep into a trend, you turn it off. Or when there's coil chop in a trend, you turn it off. You can leave these on. If there's 2 or 3 bar chop, you turn these off. If you're at major levels and bouncing off of those, or stack or wall, then you turn on the star low volume score number 4. If you're going into them, then you turn other trades off. Okay? So it just gives you a quick summary of how to manage, your longs and shorts over here whenever you're placing trades. Do y'all think that could be helpful for you? So all you got to do to access that again is go to the Trading Assistant page, download the Stickies program, double click on it in your little taskbar section there in the right, and then copy and paste the image in there, okay? And then just right click on this and say pin to, or click on top. And now when you click on your chart and stuff, it'll stay up there for you. So is everybody able to see my screen right now and able to see the sticky note? Somebody's saying they can't see it. Okay, everybody else is seeing it. So you just must be having an issue. All right, excellent. Okay, so with that, let's go back And let's do a little market review on ES. I don't plan on this being a long webinar. If you don't know where the Trading Assistant page is, that's the page where all the training is, where you download the Trading Assistant. So if you've bought the Trading Assistant, then I hope you know where it is, because otherwise there's no way you could have downloaded it. But it's the second link on the home page of apexinvesting.net. So if we go to apexinvesting.net, right here, the automation trading assistant right there. Okay. So yeah, you just download it, and then you copy it, and then you paste it inside of the sticky note. That's right. All right, so we got ES up today, and so let's go ahead and just move it on over. Let's I'm gonna throw everything in Sim so we can do a little walkthrough practice. Then obviously I would turn all these on, but we're just, following along. So we're gonna, we open up, we wait till the market opens at 9:35. All right, so let's see here. We got a long right there. Do we take that long? Like, would we be in a condition, like what we'd have is we'd have long and short checked. We'd have long and short on double TX is checked. We'd have long and short on third bar slings checked. Okay. All right, everybody follow me so far? We have elevators checked. Okay. And then we're not off of one of the major, stacks, walls, deviations, flux, dynamic magnets. So we don't turn on number 4. So the TA wouldn't take it. There'd be no trade because we're going against DR, right? The nice thing is I didn't have to think about it. I just had the stuff selected. Okay? So I wouldn't quite call that a ranging market because you haven't made it back down to the deviation level yet. All right, now we got an OD trade. We got 91,000 versus 95,000. So if it was OD back here, I could have turned it on, right? Like, let's say there was 70,000 there. I could have hit long. But then it goes down, 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 and now it's like at 95,000. I would turn the OD off. Okay? All right, so we got a long. So would we take that long? I mean, it will take the long. Should we take the long? Should we allow it to? Yeah, DR is green. It's a double. It's a ETX. So, yep. And the trade is profitable. All right. So pretty simple. Shopping all around. Okay, we're back down here to this deviation. Remember, when we're at the deviation, we want to be ready for a setup 4. It's one of our major levels. By the way, right there we just had OD. So we could have turned it on right there. But it went on back down. Would have turned it back off. Lorry levels. Yeah, the walls would also count on number 4s. Also, we had OD right there. So we don't have OD there, and we wouldn't have it turned on right now. Still playing up around this deviation, so we're going to leave our number 4 on. No OD, so we don't have to worry about that. We get a long. Do we take it? You're going right into a triple paw. So don't go into the triple paw. If you do, you'd be taking profit right before that, wouldn't you? Okay, now there was one back here I missed. We got a third bar swing right there. Okay, that we would have left on. And that one would have got hit. I jumped past that one. But up here, on this long, there are definitely obstructions. You have 3 paws in the way. That's called a stack. But how can you tell which to trade on any particular day? Do you measure the volatility? What do you mean, which to trade? I trade both. I trade NQ and ES. So like I said, don't take that one. All right, we got a long right here. We don't... Do we take it? Do we not take it? It's not with DR. There's no divergence. It's in a pretty decent, clean trend. I'm not taking it. So, all right, now we have a double TX. Naive, if you have questions for Gabe and Dennis, you need to ask them in the Skype room. You don't have lots of obstructions. You don't have 3 in the way. You don't have chop yet. You've only had 2 bars so far. 2 bars isn't chop. Like 2 bar, 3 bar chop means up, down, up, down, up, down. But what you would do is you take your take profit tick before what? Before that paw. Yeah, right? A tick before that paw. Remember, we always say if there is a take profit or a level right in front of your take profit, set your take profit in front of it. All right? Okay, we're not really near a level right now, so we need to make sure that our number 4 is turned off. Okay. Yeah, if there's 2 to 3 bar coil chop, but you gotta have more than 2 bars of 2 bars. Like you gotta have 2 down, 2 up, 2 down, you know, that type of thing. You have to actually be coiling. Like this back here. Like we're just starting. Like you only have 2 bars down. That's not coil chop. That's just 2 bars down. Does that make sense? I don't want y'all to... This is actually good that y'all are bringing this up. Like, I mean, we have like 8 bars down, 1 bar up, 2 bars down. We're not really chopping at that point. So don't get afraid every time there's 2 bars. Alright, so many bars on ES. All right, we got a short right there. Do we take the short? We do not take triple dippers on ES. There we go. Yes, we do take it. There's no reason not to take that short. The entry is underneath the wall there, the deviation level. Lines right up with it. $64,000, $87,000, so we don't have OD on. The ETX chab on this cheat sheet right here, it's saying that if there's an ETX or ODDR, then turn on this one right here. Somebody's saying, can you explain this tab? If you have an ETX or ODDR, then you would turn on whichever one applies. All right, that pretty much wraps up the day right there for ES. Okay, do I have any questions on that? Then we'll go through and we'll do like the morning session for NQ. What is the difference between using the dynamic magnet indicator and making the dynamic levels every morning? Okay, well, the dynamic magnet indicator is to only be used on 10-minute bars. On those 10-minute bars, you draw the levels globally, so they'll draw on your other charts. You load 30 days, and you set it to high. And you mark it one time a day. There's also a video under section 7, number 3, that goes over it. What if it's setting up both ODD and ETX, but you don't want ODD on there? Well, I mean, if it has an ETX, you can take the ETX. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you mean if you don't want ODD on there. You only turn that one on. You only turn on the oscillation detector divergence when there is ODD. You only turn on the ETX when there is ETX. And if you add ODD with an ETX, then that's an even better trade. Any other questions that are out there that y'all have? Do I always do a TX with DR? I always have it on unless I am running into a level. So we went sort of fast, but in reality, like if you were trading this and you're watching like right here, or maybe there's a stack in the way or something like that, if you saw a stack or a level or wall in the way, then that's when you would turn it off. Yeah, Paul, you get it on the Trading Assistant page. Go to the Trading Assistant page, and that's where the post-it is. There's a link right to it right in the middle. With a gap up day, do I look for more? More of what? I guess my answer would probably be no. Yeah, no, I don't know why it uploaded as gray. It's really weird. I'm going to have to upload a color one. Like it's saved as gray too. It's strange. But I'll get you a color one. Don't worry. All right. So y'all ready to go over, look at NQ's morning session? Like I said, this will be a pretty short webinar. The main thing is I want to teach you how to use this table. And then just a quick review on NQ and ES. Okay? So this won't be like one of our longest webinars, but that's not a bad thing. Let's see here. All right, so taking it back. Got 934 to 935. All right. So we got a double TX right out of the gate. Can we take it? Do we have 2 to 3 bar coil chop? We take it, yes, so we leave it on. Should we have our setup 4 on right now? Like, should setup 4 be on? Are we near a stack, a wall, a major level? No, so we should have setup 4 off. Okay? Now, every once in a while, I may call audible in the room. Yep, we gotta turn the short off too. There we go. Alright, so we got a short right there with a little bit of ODD. So sort of a range bound, you know. So you could try to take that one. If you wanted to take that, okay, you'd either have to be manual or you'd have to hit short on it. Say, hey, that's range bound. It made a higher high. It's not a great ODD trade, but it could be a good range bound trade. Does that make sense? Now, is there any reason why you wouldn't take the trade? Yeah, the clusters would give you definite caution. So it's neck against DR, but it could be range bound. But you got these clusters, so be careful, right? But it does go on back down to its range. Okay, I like the short too. Because that sort of spelled, to me, that said, hey, this is going to be choppy. It's probably to go back into its range. But that's okay. It would not have been a bad trade for you not to have taken. So you're flying on down. Okay, we're coming off flux. We're or a dynamic magnet. We're on a 0.7. Turning our number 4 back on. DR doesn't matter in a range. No, it does not. But you have to be able to read ranges, which is probably one of the hardest things to do. So make sure you got it down before you just start doing it. Okay, what are we in right now? Yeah, we're at ick, we're at chop, we're at 2 to 3 bar coil chop. What should be turned off right now? Double TXs, there you go. Okay. We're out of the 2 to 3 bar coil chop. We can turn them back on. Okay, does that make sense? Like once we start, made like 4 or 5 bars down. No ODD all the way up there, and I can't do that. We got a long. Are we gonna let that long play out? We have any stacks in our way, anything like that? Nothing to worry about, right? So we take it. There it goes. Got our profit. All right, so we got another long right here. We also got a double TX. I'm waiting to let y'all see it first. Okay, so we do have 3 bars, 2 bars. So caution would say turn that off, right? Right, because that one wasn't just 2 bars. It was 3 bars, then 2 bars. So we're in 2 3-bar coil chop, which saved us some money. Still in it. Now we're out of it. Now we can turn it back on. We're no longer near a major stacker level. So we need to turn off our setup 4. Haven't got you this morning, James? Yeah, always got to be watching for that 2 to 3 bar to turn off. And this is sort of the idea of what I'm hoping just going through this today does with you, is it helps you out a little bit. It goes, okay, that's what I'm looking for, you know. It gets to, what's cool about this is once you really get to just get used to doing this, you're not even looking for the trades. You're just looking for when to turn them on and off. All right, what do we have right there? ODD, so can we take it? Okay, so we hit the long, and we're profitable on the trade. ODD's over, let's turn it off. I got a period where I'm missing some OD. So we're going to have to fast forward through that, sorry. I think Lori sent it to me, actually. But sorry about that. All right. Okay, we got 2 to 3 bar coil chop. So we are turning off our double TXs. We're off of a flux. There's a dynamic magnet, so we could turn on our number 4s. All right, what do we have right there? We had nothing at 10:04. There was no trapped. ODD divergence, so we can hit short. It's profitable, it's done, turn it off. Turn our double TXs back on. We're well out of the 2 to 3 bar coil chop. Let's not miss a double TX trade. Got a valid short. That was a double winner, wasn't it? The OD, where was that at? Go right here. You got 756 to 534. Moving up right here. So that number is, it's a higher high with less OD. Off the dynamic magnets. With a star 5 ZOI. So, I mean, we got ODD and we got a setup 4 on that one. And it was a nice runner. And a crash. So that was actually a setup 5, yeah, on top of that. So it was a setup 4, setup 5, and it was an ODD trade. That was a good trade, that short right here. So we got a short right here. Can we take it? Well, it works out. Now, what's one of the things that I've taught y'all that would help you on this trade? Because some of y'all might have got kicked out by a tick. If we zoom in at this, what could you have done with your stop? Put it right behind the ZOI. Exactly. Could that have made a difference in losing 20 ticks versus making, like, money on the trade? Literally just risking like another 2 ticks? So would that be something to look out for? Definitely. So now, was there another reason why maybe you wouldn't have taken the trade? No, it was right at the ZOI, so 1 tick above it, it would have been clear. Let's look back. Let me scroll you back here. Because just about everybody said, take the trade, take the trade. Single mini magnet not going to block us. We don't have really a range. Double clusters. Do y'all see the 2 clusters? Remember how we don't take the first trade after a double cluster? So you could have made this trade work, but probably shouldn't have been in it to begin with, right? So I'd be making sure no matter what that I click that right there, because it's really looking just a few bars back for double clusters. Okay, we're working on the 3rd bar here. But remember, the rule is, what? Don't take the first trade after double cluster until it's broken out of the range. Well, this is right back into the same range. It'll filter double clusters if they're right before it, if they're within like the last 3 bars. It won't filter them if it's like broken 3 bars away from it. Okay? So double clusters, you're literally trading right into the clusters. Like if the TX trade would have been right here, it would have caught the double clusters, but it's not going to catch it all the way over here. All right, everybody on the same page so far? Hopefully that was a little bit enlightening, we'll go through a little bit more here. We should definitely have our setup 4s off because we're not near a level or wall. Now we're near a level or wall. Short. Breaking above it. Turn the long on. Whoops, I went off the page. All right, so we had a what? What's that right there? Star low volume score ZOI. So very good trade and off of a crash. Number 4 setup. And we like those number 4s, so there it goes. Profitable trade. 2 to 3 bar coil chop. Turn off our double TXs. By the way, I called this number 4 in the room this morning because it was coming right off that crash. And it was also it was a crash right next to a dynamic magnet. Got a little bit of OD right there. I mean, that's on the edge. But it's definitely on the range, too. No OD yet. No OD. Somebody accidentally called this OD this morning in the room when it has, gotta remember, it's not just that yellow, right? It has to be a higher high with a lower number, right? Higher high with a lower number. So that wasn't a higher high. So even though the trade did happen to work that time, it was a possibility trade, not a probability trade. All right, so we got normal short right there. Take profit's going to be before we hit a third level, so we're good. Got another short right here. It's also a double TX. It's going right into that flux with that ZOI. Profit taken. Would have been a little nervous on that one. Don't have ODD here. Okay. So you did have divergence right here, yes. You had divergence right there where 653 versus 2760. All right, so did y'all get some out of today? Now, one thing I want to point out to you that's huge is about 10:45, 11 o'clock, for about an hour to 2 hours, trading can get really difficult. Okay? So 10:45 to about 12:45 or so, it is not uncommon for trading to get very challenging. Why do you think that is? Yeah, it's lunchtime. Okay, it's where everybody, the big boys, are heading out to lunch. They've done their morning open show. They're done. Europe's completely wrapping up. The market movers have moved the markets. They're taking a break. This is where a lot of y'all start getting hit. There's this easier time in the morning normally, okay? And then you go into this lunch period and you get eaten up and spitting out. Anybody experienced that? Have you thought about it that way before? Have you thought about, I'm trading right into the lunch period on a consistent basis and I seem to always get my butt kicked right then? Where some of y'all, my guess is, you didn't really realize that's what was happening. Like, have y'all ever noticed that I usually check out around 10:30, 11 o'clock? I'm usually done calling trades in the room. So part of that is because I can only focus for so long. The other part is because I know everybody else is taking a break, and so I better take one with them. Okay? So I'm going to go forward this lunch period with you and to show it to you. But I want you to see, like, you'll see winning trades, but you're going to see losing trades, and it's going to make it harder for you. A lot of times this is when I'm eating my breakfast. So I'll get something quick, and then I'll eat my breakfast. So we go in. Go. Not a divergence. That is a divergence trade, which, by the way, just lost. Okay, 1,000 versus 3,000. What was that? We had a elevator trade that just lost. Okay. Y'all notice how good of a morning we had, and then we go into this crap? Now we got a divergence trade. That divergence trade won. Long, no divergence. Short trade. It was a nail biter, but it was profitable. No divergence. No divergence there. Oh, but that was a star 5 low volume score. That was a good trade. So buy. That one won. So we had several good trades in a row, but we got knocked out right there about 10:45, 11 o'clock, right? And we just keep going. And if you were doing that triple dipper right there, which we're doing NQ, that would have lost. But most of y'all don't do those. That short would have lost. That divergence would have won. That short would have won by the skin of your teeth. That divergence would win. Well, you technically couldn't have traded that as a divergence. Let's see here. No divergence. Got a divergence there that was profitable. No divergence. No entry for a divergence. We got a... Okay, now this one... This is actually a good example. Alright, so do we have like 3-bar coil chop here in this trend? Yeah, 8:30 to 10:30 Central Time. Do we have 3-bar coil chop there? So, once we've had 3-bar coil chop, do we take elevators after that? No. Turn off your elevators. Now that elevator would have won, but should not have been on. And that's a bunch of crap to trade into. By the way, you can turn it back on over here. Near some major levels, so we're good on the setup 4s. So divergence, but no entry. Okay. The section 8 video goes over to into the divergence indicator, Paul. Section 8, there's a video just on divergence. Okay, so let's see here. So would I just trade from 9:30 to 11:30? No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, like, from about 11:30 to about 12:30, it can get difficult. Now, there were some good trades in there. But what I've noticed is at least that first half hour to hour gets really crappy. Like 10:30 to 11:30 gets, like, it seems to be that magic time when you're going to take a hit or two if you're going to take one. Did y'all notice that? Like, that's right when we took the hits. So, if you could just go take a snack at that time, maybe you miss out. But, you know, go back and look. You know, look at your track. If you've been doing your 90-day challenge spreadsheet, which I hope all of you have. Yeah, some of y'all are like, But go back and look and... Or at least start paying attention and see if you get hit during that time on your losing trades. Like, is that the one that knocks you back for the day? And when you're new, especially, you're going to trade right into that period because you're just going to keep trading and trading and trading and trading. You're like, man, I was up 2, now I'm down 1, now I'm back at break even, now I'm trying to get... And then... You trade during that hour, and then it doesn't work out well. And I'm not saying that hour always sucks. I'm just saying I've noticed if I keep trading past that time, I don't regularly do as well. Now, I'll come back later in the day, which y'all seen me do many a times, and I'll trade. But somehow or another, that little 1 hour period there can turn into just, like Benjamin says, an epically bad day. Yeah, you end up trading all day long, and you're like a few ticks away from your profit goal for the day. So, I wanted to bring that up because it's something that I haven't talked about for a while. I mean, I talk about it in the trade room now and then, but I wanted to make sure that everybody sort of got that. And Todd, have you noticed sometimes your third trade often may lose right about that time? He's like, yes. Yeah, once you start creeping past 10:30, you're getting into that lunchtime. You used to be able to see it on the Russell when it was TF. I haven't noticed as clear on RTY, but on the 10-minute Russell, when it used to be the TF symbol, you would see this big volume spike, like just randomly, right around 10:30 to 11:30. And like when that spike happened, I knew every day that everybody just went to lunch. But they don't. When they switched it over from ICE to CME, it doesn't show it as well. So basically what I'm going to tell you is it's not a hard and fast rule, but it is a be cautious at that time, you know, a little bit after 10:30. Especially like 10:30 to about 11:15, 11:30. That's probably the most cautious time for me. You know, it doesn't mean you can't come back and get your other trade. Just sort of let that little overlapping, because not everybody takes lunch at the same time. You know, but it is New York, so they're all heading out. So things will start moving again. But just don't push it right into that lunch period, because when they all start going, then the movers which is what we're doing. We're following the market movers, right? Like they're not playing then. Yeah, somewhere between 12 and like 1:30 is usually when I come back, and you saw quite a few good trades, you know, after like noon, right? So it sort of depends on the day, but you'll start seeing the market move again. It'll wake up. It won't just be doing this little range bound crap. We go back and just look at the time. See, everything like just stopped right here. We went in, and then everything just started like getting a little bit of a range. See that? You'll notice all this happening all of a sudden. Then all of a sudden we start breaking out of it. It's like, okay, we're moving again. Now we're moving. Now it's trade. So you just want to see it starting to actually move. You know, and about an hour later, about 11:30 or so. When it starts to move again, then you know that's when you're gonna you got market movers moving the market. See, we got a bunch of great movement after that, and a lot of good trades too. So it doesn't mean you're shut down for the entire day. It doesn't mean that you have to wait till the end of the day. Just give it 45 minutes or an hour, let it start moving again. And yet, I'm going to tell you right now, there are going to be some days where that hour is just going to be the perfect little hour that would have been like the best day in the world to trade. Let's trade to the... Don't let the exceptions become rules, okay? Notice how more often than not, that's when you're going to hit that first loss of the day and be really pissed and be starting all over. All right, so did y'all pick up a few good tips today? Awesome. So like I said, pretty short webinar, so we didn't go real long. But went over the table. I'll try to get a color one. I got to figure out why my computer is saving it as gray. That's a new one for me. And I'll get it up for you. Okay? I'll have this webinar up for you on Facebook, on our Facebook group, and on youtube.com/Apex Investing. And then tomorrow I'll stick it on the website under trade reviews as well. Okay? All right, y'all have a great night. Thank you very much. And again, check us out. Get free access. Learn how to do all this. Training, tools, trade room, free for 30 days at apexinvesting.com/bootcamp. Thank you, and y'all have a good night.